We've only recovered so many of the vast amounts of poems, diaries, photographs, letters, documents, blueprints, or books created in the 300,000 years of human existence. It's hard to truly imagine just how much art, information, and stories we've lost to time. Most of the information was probably weird or unimportant appearing at the time, but in today's world, we stand to gain significant insight into the past by recognizing what they found important enough to document. Important or otherwise hugely influential works show a transition in art, but not necessarily into the life of the average person at the time. The History Matters website, created by the Center of Media and Learning of New York alongside other organizations, tells on this phenomenon by commenting on the value of letters and diaries, the primary mediums of casual art in the past. The quote reads, "Thus, the historical value of reading diaries and letters involves understanding the significance of how individual writers employed, experimented with, or altered the conventional forms alive in their time. Perhaps more than any other kind of historical text, the personal writing we are considering reveals how people both embraced and resisted the time and place in which they lived." What I'm trying to say more concisely is that what a civilization thinks is important enough to record or create at a personal level may be more genuine. Highly artificial content like movies will not capture the feelings or lifestyle of the general populace, as well as the more mass-produced and small-scale content that isn't as influenced by the market. But part of the value of these historical letters, and especially diaries, is that they are few and far between. Whether they've been lost, destroyed, or slowly worn down over time, there's a limited amount of this type of content from the past. We've finally hit an age where information can be consolidated, centralized, all while still being widely distributed. This sort of rarity no longer contributes to the value of small-scale content. A prime example of this is this website right here, YouTube. There are 500 hours of content being uploaded a minute, with billions of YouTube videos already existing, all within less than 2 decades. We now have not a lack of information, but a severe overabundance. With more and more ideas and events created or recorded, it's impossible to stay up to date. And unless there is some sort of artificial intelligence assistance in the future, it seems like it will continue to be impossible to stay fully in the know about what is being uploaded. Eventually, there will be a divide between the culturally significant videos and the unknown videos, just as there is between critical diaries like The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank and one of the 47,000 entries on BBC's website, World War II, People's War. But on YouTube, this second category, even right now, is so flooded, there's no way to get a significant sample size without sorting through millions of hours of footage. I wonder if, in the face of impossibility, historians will ever find the value in analyzing the minor videos rather than the more culturally significant ones. But that is my task today. I'm going to try to categorize them and find the essence of the home-produced, no-view videos. Content that people find important enough to create, but other people don't identify the value in witnessing. I wanted to use 150 videos as a small sample size to analyze the collective psyche of the entire online world. While this is a tiny amount of videos collected over a tiny time period, maybe some conclusion can be made about this starting strive to understand. I had a tough time categorizing all of the videos. There aren't exactly predetermined, Trivial Pursuit-esque categories for content created on the web. For analysis and categorizing, I've tried to be as scientific as possible, and as scientific as I had the motivation to be. In all honesty, the second was usually the limiting factor. Here's a small peek at me categorizing the videos to show a bit of my process. Damn, she did. That's a other media port. You know what, I'm gonna combine the TV port and the niche YouTube category. Because like news and interviews and stuff are niche as well. So are these like history things. Why does this exist? Looks like an ad. I'm gonna put it under corporate. This counts as gameplay. As you can see, the categories were not concrete from the beginning, and were up to my discretion to change at any time. I hope you trust my judgment, and I'll upload the 1.5 hours of video of me reviewing if requested. You should always think critically about all analysis videos you find online, including this one. This is hardly a conclusive look at this topic. All that considered, here's a glimpse into my findings, starting with the most populated category and working our way down to the more niche ones. The first category, coming in at 38 of the 150 videos, was the personal videos. And these had the most of any category, and this may be due to the fact that it is more encompassing than other categories. Upon first viewing of these types of videos, it seems as though we've stumbled into something we should not be witnessing. Because of this, it was my favorite category, because it was a glimpse into the lives of people around the world. As you can see, there were an adequate amount of parties, some footage of small concerts, lots of footage of children, most of them filming themselves. My favorite was a video of a kid showing off his new Nerf gun. I initially thought there were more sporting events than just the two shown off here, because my first visit to the website when I was scripting the video was dominated by sporting events. It's possible that the time of day or week has an influence on how the algorithm of the website chooses to show you videos, but it doesn't say anything about the inner workings of the website on the website itself, so this is just a guess. Ranking second, coming in at 30 of the 150 videos, would be the corporate videos. These were the YouTube videos that strove to work in the favor of some company. Most of the videos were either some sort of promotional material or the company showing off the product. Usually, this was a car that some dealership was selling, or was interior shots of a house some real estate company wanted to help sell. As a note, I found myself growing increasingly frustrated with these videos. They were incredibly formulaic. For example, all the dealerships did the same 360 around some vehicle. Most of these are lacking in any artistic value and have been spam posted on the company channel. Ranking third, coming in at 25 out of the 150 videos, is the niche YouTube content. This was the content that doesn't really fit into other categories because it's trying to appeal to a certain subsect of YouTube viewers. This could be a laser engraving machine, exploring worn-down buildings, but usually was some sort of podcast-like interview. Tying for third place, coming in also at 25 out of the 150 videos, was the niche content from other social media platforms. This one was like the previous category, but it solely had content from other platforms. The social media was primarily TikTok, but it also included mini edits and static photos with music playing over them, like fan edits you'd see on some social media app. The next category, coming in at 12 of the 150 videos, were gameplay videos. These are obviously clips of people playing video games. It had your standard games you'd recognize as an English speaker, like Call of Duty and Fortnite, but it also had Chinese games that I had never seen before. PUBG was a surprisingly popular game for no-view clips. I also went ahead and lumped in Gacha Life clips with gameplay. I'm aware that some YouTubers solely create stories or write commentary videos using gacha, and it could be categorized as niche YouTube content instead. I figured against it because in most gacha content, they were doing something along the lines of customizing characters or building stories, which I believe qualifies as playing the gacha video game. Next up, in 5th place, coming in at 8 of the 150 videos, are the animal videos. These ones are pretty self-explanatory. These are just short clips of animals. Personally, I expected this one to be a lot more popular, but apparently not. Either YouTube is not the place where people upload their creature-containing content, or animal videos really do go viral and don't fit in with the unwatched content. Next up, in 6th place, having 5 of the 150 videos, would be the scam videos. These were hard to differentiate from corporate videos sometimes. Obviously, I couldn't be 100% sure on whether something was a scam, so I gave everything the benefit of the doubt. I checked the suspicious ones, and most of them linked to some Amazon page, which was much less likely to be a scam, so I categorized them under corporate videos. However, some of them linked to a sketchy third-party website, and that was definitely more scam-esque. I can't imagine these scam videos have ever actually worked on anyone in the recent past, as anyone likely to find them would have the better sense to be skeptical. But it symbolically represents the willingness of the human race to take advantage of one another, out of desperation or out of a lack of empathy. I can only hope that the scarcity of these videos indicates that there's not many scammers out there, but unfortunately it's far more likely that the scammers are using more efficient methods. Like the DNA of a virus that remains in the human body after the sickness, these scam videos remain documented alongside everything else. Ranking last with 12 of the 150 videos is the uncategorized videos. These were the strange videos, the miscellaneous, and ultimately the non-categorizable. While this category technically ranks above scams, animal videos, and ties with gameplay videos, I feel as though it's cheating due to how disjointed this category is. There was security footage of the sky, 1-second videos of white screens, screen recordings of someone swiping back and forth on a smartphone. These videos don't gel with each other because they really don't gel with anything at all. It's not clear exactly why these videos exist, if this is a ploy to gain popularity with minimal work, or if it's something that someone genuinely wanted to document. Now, for a more opinionated take on all the categories, taking into account their abundancy and context. For the personal videos, personally, I'm glad that many of the videos are of the human experience and fragments of people's lives. It feeds into my own philosophy of focusing on the human experience as an important part of our existence. It's a surreal experience, though, to have that one-way relationship with a pure, genuine memory of a stranger that they found important enough to share. And for corporate videos, while their formulaic nature annoys me, the pursuit of wealth for survival and for vanity is an integral part of our society. So I'm glad it's captured with the existence of so many corporate videos. I'm assuming these videos were embedded into some company's website, and I'm not sure if off-site views contribute to the view counter. If so, all I can do is hope success for them in their future pursuits. And for niche content, I wasn't sure whether to combine the content designed specifically for YouTube or for another media site. If they are, they drastically outnumber every other category, with a total of 1/3 of the videos being artificial content. They are different in tone and presentation, but could easily be combined over the same wish to gain power from the social system. And I know that has a negative sounding connotation to it, But in essence, it's no different than someone trying to game the economic system. There's different strategies for success, and these ones didn't quite pan out for these people, whether it was due to no networking, an inferior formula, or pure bad luck. And for gameplay videos, this category kind of disappoints me. Not only do video games make people violent, it's also just wasting the time of the viewer by watching. After all, why would you watch instead of playing the video game yourself? Just kidding. I think it's wonderful that there's a place for people to share their hobby with others, like this subcategory of YouTube. I'm a little bit of a gamer myself, so I appreciate being able to view the community propagate itself even at a minute level. For animal videos, there's not a whole lot to say. Just classic online culture. I will say I was honestly surprised at the few amounts of animal videos with the sheer amount of animal-loving communities all across the ends of the web, from Facebook to Reddit to Tumblr. And for scam videos, my feelings toward these are akin to my feelings towards the corporate videos, but far harsher. They document the rampant pursuit of wealth. However, the difference is the dishonest strategy these types of schemes use to acquire that wealth. And to top it off, scams usually only work on the elderly or the desperate, two demographics that cannot be defended by some Robin Hood-esque ethical argument. But this video is not on why scams are immoral. That would make things a bit too undemanding. As for the uncategorized videos, while I was expecting some oddballs, I didn't expect so many. Collectively, human art will always contain some sort of abstractism take on the medium it exists as, and I guess that includes YouTube videos too. Taking all that into consideration, we now need to consider it in context with lost media throughout history. While in today's world we are better equipped to deal with the effects of natural disasters or other accidents, the threat of information loss due to a coordinated attack still exists. Historically, it's not an uncommon happening either. In fact, there's a whole Wikipedia page dedicated to book-burning events where thousands upon thousands of books have been deleted. Remember, the printing press was only invented during the Renaissance period and still wasn't widely used then. There was often only one copy of each book, unless it was painstakingly transcribed, thus causing most of the loss from these events to be permanent. The website Bede's Library sums up this phenomenon when talking about the sheer loss of information after the fall of the Roman Empire. It quotes, "As for Latin, we have the names of 772 classical authors. Of these, not a word survives from 276 of them. We have fragments ranging from an aphorism to several pages of 352 of the authors. Of the remaining 144, we possess at least one of their works, but rarely all of them. Without knowing a single work of 1/3 of Roman authors, we can only assume things about the artistic and intellectual capabilities of Rome as a society through the limited amount of information that we do have. If this is a topic that interests you, I heavily advise you go read the rest of the webpage." But rarely did people know that their libraries were going to be burned before they were already watching the raging fire. It's not impossible that information can be lost again, with events such as a large-scale EMP created by a nuclear explosion in the atmosphere over important servers. Or, a nuclear explosion on the ground over important servers. Who knows what sort of media will be saved if something like that happens? It may include viral videos like Gangnam Style, or it may include Nerf Gun Kid. As a viewer, make sure you've witnessed what you want to while you can, and as a content creator, make sure you're uploading something that you want your generation to be remembered by, even if it ends up being unwitnessed throughout time. But how does this change or fit into your worldview? Are you disappointed or glad? Were my findings wrong or my process bad? I'd love to hear your take on the subject, and I'll be responding to all comments if humanly possible. And this being my first video, I have to say that this is something that takes a lot of time and effort to create. This was a month-long process to put this video out. If this is something that you'd like to see more of, liking or subscribing goes a long way to let me know that this was a worthy creative endeavor. I hope I've given you something cool to think about. Remember to stay mindful and loving on your journey. You deserve it.